Welcome back.
Hi.
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 Hi, Brooke.
Hello.
Okay. So we talked about a couple things last time. Hi, Annie. It's
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm glad the whole family's here now, so now I can really look at the dynamic of everyone and see like the different like hierarchies in the relationship and your relationships and see what we can do. So I see that you brought some notes.
Yeah.
So it looks like you guys have journaled an event. So why don't we talk about it? I want to hear it from like each person, like your perspectives on the event.
Okay.
So who wants to start?
Brooke, why don't you start? Okay. I came home from school and Amy and I were watching TV, and then like my mom came in and was like, Brooke, did you do your homework? Like, why? And then I got up and I was like, why do you always have to ask me stuff like that? And then I left. And then I sat in my room.
How about you?
Yeah, so last week, at the end of the week, Brooke and I it was after school and like we both got home. I get home first and then she gets home probably like an hour or so after me. So we like to have some chill time together before my mom gets home, and like we have to get dinner ready and make sure our homework's done and all of that. So we were watching TV, and then my mom came home, and when my mom got home, and she walked in and saw us sitting watching TV, that's when she and Brooke got into a fight, and then Brooke got up and went to her room. And then after Brooke went to her room, my mom was really upset and vented to me about how difficult Brooke can be and she doesn't know what to do anymore. And then after my mom vented to me, I went up to check on Brooke, and Brooke had the same ideas of why is mom always getting on me? She never gets on you. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I was just relaxing. So yeah, they were both really upset, and I think it escalated very quickly when it could have been a more calm situation.
How often do you find your mom venting to you about Brooke?
A lot. I wouldn't say every time Brooke gets in trouble, but pretty often. I feel like because my mom doesn't have anybody else, she opens up to me more, because we have such a close relationship. So yeah, pretty often.
Well, there's just something you have to understand. So I come home after a really long day of work, and I see my two daughters and they're together. Me and Annie text throughout the day, so I know that she already did her homework and that she's done, and that she's just gonna sit and she's watching TV or hanging out with Brooke. But I don't know that about Brooke because we don't have that communication. So when I walked in, I already knew Annie was done. I was like, Brooke, did you do your homework? And I know that Brooke has not been really enjoying school as much, so I'm gonna keep asking her. I don't understand. And then she got really disrespectful and walked away. So I am very close with Annie, so she gets me more, I guess, and understands. I just get so upset when she shows, on top of her not doing her schoolwork or possibly lying about it, she walks up into her room, closes the door, and she ignores me, and just like her father used to do, like that, he would ignore me and then he would leave, and that's just, same characteristics. I'm tired of dealing with that. So when Brooke went back up to her room, Annie and I sat and talked about it, because Annie has a little bit of an understanding, right? Don't you? Of like how your father used to be?
I was really little when my dad left. Like, I was 4 years old about when my dad left us. So, I do remember him, but
So you're in high school right
yes.
now? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, I remember my dad, but not really. I was young, so I really remember, like, for my 4th birthday, he got me like a big huge Barbie house, and I remember that, like, stuff like that, the good times like that, like going on vacations and stuff like that. But I really don't remember any specifics about his personality.
How does it make you feel when your mom vents to you?
I mean, I'm glad that we have a close relationship and she can talk to me and she feels comfortable enough to talk to me and she does need somebody to talk to. But I do feel torn because I love my sister and I love spending time with my sister and I like being close with her as well. So I feel really torn when they get into a fight and I'm left in the middle and they're both coming to me for advice and help.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make an observation. It sounds like what's going on here is called triangulation. It's when two family members kind of align with each other and one gets left out. And it seems like you're pulled in the middle. So it's the person that's left out. It seems like you, Mom, and then Annie's down here getting pulled between you two. So that's what's called triangulation. And then what I'm also noticing is that there's a little bit of what's called a diffuse boundary between you and Annie versus the rigid boundary that you have with Brooke. It sounds like there's a little bit of an enmeshment where you're venting to Annie about her sister and she feels like she's being put in the middle. You're investing a lot of yourself into Annie and not so much with Brooke. So what I want to do is I want you guys to reenact the situation.
Okay.
And I want you to say things that you would typically say. I know it's weird to do it with me, but I want you to think of me as like a distant relative. Like I'm not a therapist, I'm a distant relative right now. So don't think of me as therapist, Becca. Think of me as just an observer. We're at a family function and I'm just in the same room as you.
Okay. Well, I guess Brooke, you would have to sit next to me because we usually sit on the couch and share a blanket and stuff when we watch TV.
Okay.
So we're like watching TV, I guess.
Watching TV, chatting about our day and, you know, sister gossiping and being funny. And then Mom comes home.
Okay, so Mom, you came home
Okay.
after hearing news about Brooke.
About Brooke not being in class. So did you do your homework, Brooke?
Why do you care?
I want you to succeed in life, and you're not. You're slacking. So did you do your homework?
So, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. And why aren't you going to class? Why are you skipping
Yeah,
class?
so now
and-
is when I usually walk away.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess.
Yeah, it usually escalates like that. We'll come home or Mom will come home and then all of a sudden it's yelling. It's never a quiet, constructive conversation. I feel like it always just goes back and forth to yelling and then Brooke goes into her room and she'll be in her room and then all night pretty much until dinner's ready. And that's when my mom will vent to me and then after she calms down, that's when we'll sit together and talk or do something together, talk and, you know, go online shopping or watch a movie or something, and then Brooke is always locked in her room.
So this is like a very repetitive event.
It happens like 2-3 times a week.
So with this event in mind, in a perfect world, how would you have liked to handle this experience?
In a
Like
perfect
what else
world,
could you have said or what else could have been done to make this situation different?
I feel like in a perfect world, I would have come home and
Sorry.
I would have either not even had to ask Brooke. I would have seen her doing her homework or I don't know, I would have asked her if she had done her homework and she would have just told me yes or no. And then if she had, then maybe we could all watch a movie together. Or if she hadn't, then maybe I could help her with her homework and get it done. Yeah, in a perfect world, I would be able to talk to her about why she's not going to class instead of just yelling all the time. But I don't know. It's not a perfect world, and it sucks because I just feel like she acts, I don't know, she acts like how her dad used to act, and it just really sets me off, and I can't think clearly, and then I just end up yelling and having her stay in her room instead of trying to discuss it and figure out why things are going on.
So it sounds like a couple of your values as a mom is that you want your kids to succeed
Yeah, absolutely.
and have quality time. Is it fair to say those are two
Yeah.
of your values?
Yes.
Another observation I have is that quite often with the triangulation we spoke about, there's something called detouring. It sounds like you're detouring your feelings about your ex-husband.
I think it stopped.
Oh, no.
I don't know when it was stopped. I
Oh,
don't know.
it's my battery. We're still going.
Okay. It's still going?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Detour.
Okay, it sounds like you're detouring your feelings about your ex-husband, not on purpose, towards Brooke.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I don't know, I wouldn't dream of doing that. I wouldn't want to hurt her. It's just, I guess I do it without meaning to. It's just the same kind of thing that he used to do, and I never got that closure with him. It was always just like he left and cut me off, and then I cut him off, and that's how it went. And I guess when she acts like him, it just kind of brings back all those feelings that I haven't resolved, and I'm sorry.
Well, whatever.
Now, what type of values do you have, Brooke?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I just like to hang out with my friends and my sister, I guess. I don't know.
In a perfect world, what would your values be?
I mean, like, I would be able to come home from school and, like, hang out with my sister and actually finish a show or a movie without my mom nagging me all the time about what I did or what I didn't do. Like, just kind of, like, just leave it alone. Like, it's so irritating. Like, the more that she bothers me about it, the more I just don't care anymore. Like, I just don't even want to do it. I just don't care.
So even though these two sound opposite, it sounds like you both share a value of just wanting quality time. Sounds like family is really important to you both. What would you say?
I agree. I think I think in the perfect world, Brooke and my mom do want opposite things, but I think the overall they just both want to have a peaceful household
Mhm.
when everybody's home at the same time. Because I know Brooke can like school, and she's told me before that she does like learning some things. I mean,
Yeah,
But-
I like to learn.
like she likes to learn, but I think that she needs to figure out for herself, not my mom, but for herself, just how to balance that, because
Okay.
she's only in middle school, so I know it, when she gets home, she doesn't want to come, she's been in school all day and she doesn't want to come home and do more schoolwork. I know she
Right.
does like having some downtime, but I think both of them just want a more peaceful situation when they both are home
Mhm.
and talking about whatever happened during the day.
Okay. So for our next session, I want you all to, so in the same situation, say something you would not typically say. So Brooke comes home, she doesn't have her homework done, or she failed a test. Say something that you wouldn't typically say to her. Maybe say something, maybe like an I statement. Do you ever say, it makes me feel when, or do you find yourself saying, you need to do this, you need to do that?
Mostly tell her, you need to do this, you need to do that.
So why don't we use I statements this week? I don't expect you to like every time, but when you do, why don't you kind of write down like how the situation changed? And maybe we could do like some unbalancing, and maybe you could kind of take lead of the situation with using I statements. How's that sound?
Okay.
Good. All right, ladies. Well, I'm excited to hear about how your situation turns out next week. And I hope you guys have a good weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.